Isn't it funny when you get to bed and you hide your money and you wake up, you forget where it's hidden it? I hid his 7 shilling last Sunday night. Woke up at 4:15 in the morning, sweat like a bull. She opens her eyes. What are you looking for? I says, Epsom salt. She says, you'll not need them when you know where your money's going.
Bobby Thompson is the king of the North East comics. Geordie audiences cram into their social clubs and theatres to listen to the man who calls himself the Little Waster.
She hadn't gotten the words out of her mouth till in lands Interpol. Her mother. She never says no, you know, she just stands with her engine running. Is he off work again? He's going to outdo me on Kenny Mooser. Be a good job the Lord would take him. I said he would, but he wants no labourers. Well, we just come to the top of the street and she saw Mrs. Higgins. Well, she's got money, see? She's on Social Security. She married a fella called Gyro, and... she had one of them frocks on from Oxfam. Eve, what are you doing there? Eve was barefaced after her off. I went right up to her. I says, Mrs. Higgins, one of your bosoms is hanging out. She says, I've left the Ben on the bus.
Bobby's sketches are drawn from life, a life that began for him in the Durham pit village of New Penshaw nearly 70 years ago. His act has a strongly regional appeal. He's never made it as a national entertainer. The Little Waster's monologues are spiced with references to a past that only the North East fully experienced.
I was born in a place called Penshaw Staithes at New Penshaw. I was the youngest of the family, and I was born in a miner's house. Oh, it's been pulled down now. It's been pulled down for a canny bit. We used to go to Penshaw Monument. Oh, I used to go with all the lads. We all used to go to the top and used to slide down and see who won to the bottom.
There he is. The Little Waster.
I went to school till I was 14-year-old. It used to be who had the nicest patch on their trousers. And trousers and a jersey, no cap. Caps weren't heard about. You were all right. A pocket full of marbles and a bit rag for a handkerchief, you were set. And if there was any mischief, the schoolmaster, Mr. Foster, used to say, I'll bet it's Thompson. And it always was Thompson.
Hey, I can remember this place well, lad. Hey, the old Stace. Hey, old Johnny, the busker lad, he used to come round singing. For the birds they were singing in the morning. The ivy and the roses were in bloom. And they laid her in the churchyard in the village. That's where they laid her in her tomb. So long, my old pal. I started work 3 days after leaving school
at Northbury Colliery, and I used to shove the tubes into the cage. I got 12 to 14 shilling for a week's work. They've landscaped the site now, and it's just like a golf course. It's a marvellous place to see now. When you sit and think the days that you worked down the pit and you went to the pit, and to look at it now, it's beautiful. My first appearance was at a little picture hall. It was a miners' hall, but it was a picture hall as well, called the Gem Theatre. I was 11-year-old that night, I'll never forget it. It was crowded to the doors. And I sung a song, "My Child, You Have No Mother Now." That night I got the best of order, I got the best applause, and I got presented with a gold watch. And they were still clapping when I got the watch. I sung the same songs down the pit as what I sung on the Gem when I was a lad, and what I'm singing now on the stage. No, the pit closed, Northbury Colliery, Butney, it closed in August, July or August in 1931. Now, there was hundreds and hundreds, and we all had to go and look for work, you know. We went to Easington Colliery, Horden Colliery, everywhere looking for work, but you couldn't get work, and the dole queues. Oh, just, well, you can imagine people going in crowds to a football match. Well, it was definitely like that in 1931 onwards. And if you had a good suit on, you'd think you'd robbed a bank in them days. There was a band formed at Fatfield called Billy Bankhead's Bluebird Band. And they asked me if I would join the band. So I joined the band and we went round. We didn't get very much money with the band, but I've seen me get a job at Newcastle in the big market of an old agent called Matty Steele, and he used to say, "Now, there's 6 bob for you the night, but don't say no to anybody, because they'll all want work." Well, you were a star in them days if you got a midweek job for 6 bob. Sometimes I like to go to the local race course if there's Newcastle races is on. What time's the first race, Harry?
I'm last 2, Bobby.
Oh, dear me. Oh, when I get to the course, I have grand enjoyment because I like to go there. They all know me and have a bit of a flutter. It's an afternoon's enjoyment. I just take jockeys. I don't take horses. I know nothing about horses, but I know about the jockeys because I followed these from when I was a young lad. But now I follow Mercer and Lester Pickett and Edry. I follow them because sometimes you say, "Oh, those is class." We're not worried about the horse. The horse may be no good, but the jockey's class, so we'll back the jockey. Say I put £50 in my pocket on a Monday, and I'll say, "Well, right, that's me gambling money for the rest of the week." And when that's finished, well, I finish, but sometimes I win. If you've got money and you can enjoy yourself, when you had none, you couldn't enjoy yourself, so you may as well enjoy yourself if you've got a bob or two to spare.
Even's on the milk, 2 bob.
My money's on game lord, and mine is going to be trouble in our roads if that gun's down. Get some money off the father for me, will ya? Get away, lad. Oh, ho, ho. It's nearly as many pound notes as what there's palm tickets in our house. Well, I was 3 years in the army, and I was discharged from a place called Edinburgh, Portobello Camp in Edinburgh, because I had bad eyesight. And he says, you see a lot of things that you shouldn't see, and the things that you should see, you don't want to see. But he says, you've been discharged, Thompson. I says, well, that's very good. He says, you can get measured for your suit. I married Phyllis Coates in 1944 at Carlisle Registry Office. Phyllis played me stooge in the audience. She was a very, very big woman, and me being that small. When we used to go to a club, they all knew, they'll say, she'll get some stick. And when I stood on the stage, you know, I used to back chat, and she never said nothing, you know. And she just used to sit, and the people was looking at Phyllis more than what they were looking at me. And I says, will you please clear the road there? The crane's coming in to lift her. She's going out for a minute. She'll be back again. And I used to give her some awful cracks. And during the interval, if she thought that I had made a mistake with any of the gags, she would say, no, listen, you're forgetting so-and-so. You're forgetting this, you're forgetting that. Now put them in. And she would listen intentionally, really listen to make sure that I didn't make no mistakes. I've been doing this act since about 1940 odds. I have a little dresser called Paddy Fox. He's been with us 36 years. Now he puts me clothes ready. I got the trousers given by a man in Wallsend nearly 40 years ago. The jumper, to be truthful, I think I got a loan of the jumper years and years ago. And I got the cap off of Mr. Connor, and he'd had it for donkeys, and I've still got it. I've had the Woodbine packet for over 40 years. And when I show them it, they start and giggle.
It's a long time since you bought a packet of them, isn't it? There were tuppence when I bought them. I've only got 3 left. They greed them off you.
I do a lot of concerts for the over 60s and the Derby and Joan clubs for nothing.
Them days was the days when as you thought your man had money, you couldn't get to sleep. There was one night, I'll not forget it. I went to bed and had a nice suit then, indigo blue. Indigo Monday out to come Friday. That's what them 3 balls was for, you know. 2 to 1, when you get them in, you don't get them out.
It's true to life what Bobby says, yes. Everything Bobby says and everything Bobby does is natural in the years gone by.
Why, I tell you at Christmas, see, she had a bad throat. And her mother says, what are we going to get for her throat? Well, I only had 1 blade. She couldn't speak. Sunday, couldn't talk. Monday morning, 4:45. Come on! I says, I'm not good. It's too foggy. She says, I can see over the rooftops. I says, I'm not gone that way. It's a wonder you're not sorry for me. Yeah, are you? I wished I'd brought her, you could have pelted her. Hey, she's up at 3 o'clock in the morning packing. When you're a carrier. She's out upstairs at 3:15. Bobby, you'll have to get up. The strings come off the carrier. Well, I'm not an engineer.
He's just always the same and full of joy, and he's made people happy and gone on hours and hours, and I think he's a grand lad. And he's 71, I would think now.
I first met Bobby in the early days of Watch Your Geordie, that is about 1950. Watch Your Geordie was a local dialect variety show that we used to run. It was local as far as the acts were concerned, but it was heard all over the north of England. What Bobby did was to recreate in the imagination the life of the working class people, particularly pitmen, in northeast Durham, and he did this with amazing success. They recreated the warmth of it, the hospitality, and also, of course, the drinking and the among other things, the appalling attitude to women. All the women in Bobby's act are either shrews, like the wife with this shrieking voice, or whining hangers-on like the mother-in-law. And he went from success to success. The programme had an amazing following. It was recorded every week in a different town or village all over the northeast of England, but particularly in the mining areas.
He was a marvellous producer, and I enjoyed myself. And Watch Your Geordie made me, I think, what I am today. I was given me television series in 1959. I was appearing at Newcastle Empire with Eve Boswell. We had a marvellous pantomime that year, and me giving me own television series, I thought I would do very well. It went well, and we got a good write-up and everything. But after that, it deteriorated. It went down the bank a mile. I had a producer, very nice chap to talk to, but as a producer, he just couldn't understand what I was talking about in the first place. He had to say, what do you say? See, he was I don't know where he come from, down the south somewhere, but he didn't understand Geordie language. A canny lad, but he didn't know the difference between going and gannon. You wouldn't catch your mind, or the local people said, he's fallen down. No, he's fell down. When the band come in from school, he's fallen down, but the producer wouldn't have it. As much as I talked to him and said it was wrong, he said he was right. They absolutely made me down, down, down and down. They ruined us that much, I couldn't get a job. And where I was working in that time, you know, when you were getting £10 a night on the club, it was good money. I couldn't get 2. It got man that I was disappointing clubs, I was drinking. I didn't know what to do with myself. After Phyllis died, I advertised for a housekeeper. You know, you're ironing that shirt, you might want to wipe one on tonight.
Well, there isn't a
And there was about 18 applicants, and I got Mrs. Tate, Lottie Tate.
Well, you wash them and you iron them, and then you'll know how you're on.
And mind, I must give every credit to her.
Oh, I can sit back and relax.
Things from 1969, 1970, things picked up. And where I couldn't get jobs and that, I got them. Because then again, she kept me dressed nicely and everything was correct. She saw I was off the drink and everything, and I was doing my work correctly.
You're in the road, you know.
I've been in the road all my life. Lottie, me and her were the best of pals. I've got a better life, I think, than the Duke of Edinburgh.
I don't think Bobby's changed one here, but he's still the sprightly, dapper little fellow that I remember from the old days. He, if anything, he's improved with age. Not in his looks, but his timing, his delivery is so spot on.
But mind, there's any amount of guards, but I contend when you're rehearsing, rehearse the proper way. Don't be ashamed. If there's anyone in your house, get your rehearsing done. I like to stand in front of the mirror every morning and say, you know, where's I been now? I'm getting a shock. I'm enjoying myself. I'm in the club. Now, there's a man he says,
which is the best way to the gates? And I says, coming in the club, Stu's got a road map. Well, I'm all smile, see, because he's going to take us in. So I went in, he ordered 2 pints. I says, I'll have the same. Say, now that's where you get your facial expressions. But if you're cracking a gag, that's a sympathy gag, or a neighbour gag. You know, there's some neighbours that swank, such as the woman next door to us. She come in, Mr. Thompson, do you come and have a look what my husband's bought me for my birthday? Well, that's the way the neighbours come in if they've had a full week in. Well, that's never gone in swanking because I never have a full week in. But when you're passing the gag, that's a sympathetic gag, you stand there and you say, well, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm fed up with this. And then she starts, the money guns and distance, and you have to be giggling down behind her back. But giggle, make sure that you giggle. And then she said, oh, it's all right for you sitting there. I'm fed up. Be a good job if the Lord would take you. I says he would, but he wants no labourers. See, you've got to laugh at her when she says to me.
Over his career, Bobby's built up to such an attraction. He's such a star man at any of the shows in Clubland. He draws the biggest fees of possibly any entertainer that works in the North East. That includes the people who come up from other parts of the country. Bobby is tops in every way. Top fees, top comedian, worth every penny of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice big reception now for the one and only Geordie genius, Mr. Bobby Thompson.
You didn't laugh when I was fighting for you? Mine? No, it's no good laughing. There was some funny things happening. 1940, Wednesday afternoon, 7th of June, 3:45. I was in bed. Get up here, your papers is cold. Well, when you're full of drink, you didn't know what you're talking about. I thought it was a news of world. It was a letter from Chamberlain. Dear Bob. Sorry I was out for call when you phoned. Will you come and fight for us? Well, the wife didn't want us to go. She said, no, you didn't want to go, but there'll be mischief. Because she knew I was funny on dried egg. Hey, we got off the train at London. I says to the taxi driver, Waterloo. He says, the station. I says, I'm out late for the battle. And I seen this fellow with the soldier's clothes on. And he was keep shouting, Bobby, calm down. It was Montgomery. So he says to me, of course you'll understand, the way you're talking won't be understood by the generals, colonels and the brigadiers of the War Office. So while you're in my company, do try and alter your tone of talk. Why, I can't talk no different than what I talk in your night, thank you. He says, we'll go to the road, we'll have a drink, I'll let you have a look at the plans, providing you alter your tone of talk. So me and him got on the bus. I says, you get 2 returns, I get them coming back. And, we got right up to the club. Monday couldn't get in, wasn't affiliated. So I says to the doorman, I says, have a look in the lounge and see if there's the royal family in. So the Duke of Gloucester come on. He says, hello, Bobby. I says, sign Monday in, Tommy.
There can never be another Bobby Thompson. When Bobby Thompson either retires or, like all of us, go to the clay to finish, I quite frankly can't see another man to fill the little waster's shoes.
Well, I got Monty signed in. Well, he got them in because I was talking to Webber and Alexander. And he was just getting them in the game because they kept me talking. When in lands Mountbatten, shout in his mouth. Anybody seen Bobby Thompson? I said, get your own in, I'm in the company. And,